Welcome to the Shy Panther and Friends show. Can you hear me okay, Matt? Or is it
Yes,
okay
I
if I call
can.
you Matt?
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, cool. All right, welcome to the Shy Panther and Friends show, everybody. I'm your host, Gail. Today is Thursday, June 24th, and I haven't been having as many shows recently because I'm trying to save the best for the Facebook time, and then otherwise we'll be on Instagram. All right. So the main reason that the Shy Panther and Friends show airs on Facebook and on Instagram is to provide a platform to encourage you to use your voice to uplift and empower yourself and others. And that's exactly what we've been doing. So our special guest today is Matthew Morales, and he has written a book called Never Be Poor Again, a guide to money as a spiritual practice. Now, Matt, you said that this is more than just a book. It's an experience that most people don't even know that they need. So
Yeah.
come on in here.
Hey, Gail, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be on the show. Thanks for introducing my book. Yes, everyone, it's called Never Be Poor Again, a guide to money as a spiritual practice. And it is, I think it's a journey because a lot of personal development books, it's you. When you're angry, do this. When you're broke, do this. But mine is an experiential story of moving from poverty, witnessing me being poor, witnessing me be homeless, witnessing me go through all the struggles and what it actually took to get out.
Okay. So was this a story that you compiled over time, or was it something that you like through different times in your life? Was this kind of
So as
telling you?
originally, the book was just going to be, let's say if I'm going to teach something to a friend or if they don't know something, I will quickly write a little blog to make it easy.
Mhm.
And so I decided I was going to take all the blogs that I had ever written and just make a tiny little ebook. But then when I started doing that, it started just morphing into this novel, into this book, in which
Yeah.
instead of talking about the ways to become rich and the ways to become wealthy, I instead realized that the book was more about never being poor again and about how we can end up in the exact same position over and over and over and over. And it's not just poverty, but just that feeling of being broken inside and still allowing that same situation to happen and finally
Okay.
deciding to get past it. And so the book morphed into deciding to tell that story because I figured that was more authentic.
Okay. And you said that your problem, you said your biggest obstacle to wealth wasn't poverty. So what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I realized that the whole time I thought it was my poverty keeping me poor, but it wasn't. It was my arrogance. Why? Because
Mm,
yeah, I grew up poor. I grew up in the hood. I grew up around gangs. I almost went to prison multiple times in my life. But I also read a lot of books. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad at 12 years old. I read The Secret as soon as it came out. I believe I was around 18 years old. Think and Grow Rich. I went to as many seminars as possible, and I was still broke. I joined the
okay.
military and I was still broke. I had tried businesses. I was still broke. Got into sales. I was still broke. Made $100,000 in a year and I was still broke. And I was like, why? What am I doing? And finally it hit me. I was reading all the books, but I was skipping the intros. I was skipping the conclusions. I was doing step one and step two, but I was skipping step three and trying to skip to step six.
Wow.
And so it really hit me that
Hmm.
until I was willing to take all the steps, I wasn't going to get anywhere. It's my arrogance keeping me poor. And the only steps I'm skipping are any philosophies that don't agree with mine. But my philosophies got to me to
Oh,
where I am today.
okay. Because as you were saying that, I'm thinking, well, maybe it was just that you were impatient. But I mean, you know yourself better than anyone. And you said it. You said it exactly. Is that what they were talking about was conflicted with your philosophy of what you thought should be the remedy to never being poor again.
Exactly. And so I was listening to some of the philosophies, but the philosophies that were directly congruent with mine, right? But if there was
Okay.
something that I was questionable about, if there was something like a script and it said, just follow this script, I was like, all scripts are dumb, and all these things, forget that exercise. I understand what it's talking about. And so it just really, really hit me. That was it. Is what was keeping me poor right there because I wasn't doing the exercises, because I wasn't taking the steps. And so how serious was I actually taking it if I wasn't doing
Okay.
all the steps?
Okay. So, um, how is, can you give us a little bit without giving away the book as far as some of the keys that we need to grab onto. I mean, you mentioned a couple already.
You know, I don't mind giving away the secrets because you'll still, I think the book is still worth it. You can have all the secrets. Here they are because I think they're really important. I want everybody to have them. I think that's important in this book.
Okay.
You already know them all. The question is, why aren't we doing them, right? We know that we should spend less money than we make. If you make $100 and you spend $101, how long can you last? Not forever. Mm-hmm. But if you make $100 and you spend $99, it's always going to grow, right? So spend less money than we make. That's just something simple that we know. Yeah. And yet sometimes we spend more money than we make. Sometimes we spend our paycheck before we even have it. Oh. Never count your chickens before they hatch. Learn to count your eggs before they hatch, not your chickens.
Okay, that's a great one. Learn to count your eggs before they hatch.
Not your chickens. Okay. You have eggs right now, and some of them will be chickens.
Right.
But that's not what they're limited to. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. We've heard that a million times. Exactly. We've heard a million times that we should invest our money. But how many of us are doing it? If we're broke, we're not doing it. And so it becomes, would you ever say, I'm too dirty to shower? No, we shower because we're dirty, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, we invest because we're broke.
Okay.
We invest because we're broke. And so these are some of the basics, just some of the basics. Account for everything you have. It's simple. Okay. Just know how much you have. Account for it and make it work for you.
Right.
You know? Imagine if you took an oak, if you wanted to grow an oak tree, you took an acorn and you planted it in the ground. You're watering it, and at first you feel insane because you're just kind of throwing water on dirt, right? And so it's a couple months before anything happens, you don't see any results. But then as soon as you start seeing results, what happens? You have to protect it from the animals, you have to protect it from the sun, you have to protect it from the thing. And so it grows into this giant thing. Would you, as soon as it shows its first fruit, cut it down?
No, you have to nurture it, and you have to work on it and grow it and be dedicated to it. Yeah.
And yet sometimes we'll make an investment, and as soon as it starts showing its beginnings of fruits, what do? We pull it out.
We take the money away. Yeah. So, now you said that your book is different from all other self-help books, and because of how you tell the story, how you share the information with us.
Yeah. The reason, yes, exactly. And so if you read a personal development book, as I was saying before, when you read those personal development books, you get a lot of you should do this. But I decided to tell the story first. And I decided to show you experientially what I went through, what it took, watching me fail over and over and over. And then in the middle of the book, so first you get story of me getting to watch me fail, because I think that's important, getting to watch me fail. And then I actually teach, and I'm actually teaching fundamentals, but I'm teaching principles that don't change, that can be applied to any type of finances, so that anyone can use this, and so that you can compare it to any system that you come across and see, is this a good system or not a good system? Because does it follow the basic principles of finances? And so then I relate it to nature. I do a lot of relating it to nature and breaking it down as simply as possible. And these things really make a huge difference. Not many people, I don't think I've ever come across a book that teaches in this manner.
Okay. Well, one thing I've discovered with everyone who comes on this show, basically, they started doing what they're doing from a passion. And your passion and today I is to share the information and to help us all really come to that point of realizing that your life can be so much better. And here's how it's done. I agree with you. I've read self-help books, and through our conversation, I thought about exactly what you said, and you hear a lot of the same things from so many people, but you don't really know so much about their background. You don't know how humble their beginnings were, and how truthful that probably could be anyway. But definitely, people learn and they accept more from someone who's with a shared experience.
Yeah.
So.
I agree completely. And I think it changes the type of authority it gives. I believe a lot of people try too much to give authority and credence to their credentials, but the truth is, if you were in a forest and there was a doctor who'd been practicing for 20 years and a child who had delivered 100 babies safely, and you were about to have a baby and had to choose between one of them, who do you think you'd end up choosing to deliver the baby? Probably the child with 100, the experience. And so the credentials kind of change. We look at things in reality, they change. And because of the experience that we have. And so I think that my authority simply just comes from my experience of not having money, of doing everything wrong, of not having the formal education, of not doing everything, and what it took, and the fundamentals that I had to learn, the ones I had to apply, the old negative beliefs I had to get rid of, the philosophies I had to let go of and push away and add new philosophies. And showing that it actually takes the type of effort, and showing that it's a spiritual practice because it's a reflective one. Because I had to see what was going on in my life. Why was money in that way for me when I realized it was symptomatic? Why was I broke? It was because money was a symptom of how I was appearing in the world. And until I did better in my world, I wouldn't do better in my finances.
Yeah. I actually heard Susie Orman talk about money in the way that you do. Like our relationship with it is spiritual, but most of us don't realize that it is in the way that it is. So yeah, that just came back to me when you were talking just now. And some of the description where you talk about where you describe who you are, you said that you're motivational speaker, teacher, and author, and that you have the magical ability to take the most complicated topics and teach them so simply that a child could understand. So what's this magic that you have?
Yeah, I don't really know what it is, but I've always loved it. I've always loved distilling things into their simplest form and breaking things down to its simplest form. And so this is what I realized. How do you break it down to a simplest form? Well, if something's true, it's true in everything. If it's not true in everything, it's simply not true. And so there's these things that once you understand, it can't change. It doesn't matter what topic we're talking about, right? So form follows function. That's a law in physics, right? But that's also a law in art, and that's also a law in economics. Form follows function, meaning the way something looks and is designed is according to its use, right? And so there's these things we can't change. If I want to make a cake, I can't change baking soda for sugar and expect a cake to appear. There's a minimum formula that I have to accomplish in order for it to exist. But then after I understand that minimum formula, after I understand that recipe and I apply the basics to it, then I can make it a wedding cake and a cupcake, a big, small, pink, red, fluffy, heavy, all these different things. Then I can change it, but I can't change the principles. And so that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching the principles. All the books are teaching the exact same thing, but I'm just showing you the principles. And I'm relating them to things that we all experience every single day. Just the understanding of the way water works, looking at the way the trees work, and understanding, because the way we do anything is the way we do everything, that money follows those same principles and laws. And so I can relate it to these different ideas, and I like to relate it to these different ideas so that it's empirical, so that we can all see through the evidence just with our own experience that, oh, okay, that's the way it works in nature.
Right. Yeah. I feel like you're bringing us back to our spiritual self and helping us to well, just as you said, just as like when you're teaching anyone anything, you help them find something that's that they can relate to.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if I can't relate to it, whatever I'm learning is going to always seem so foreign to me. But actually it's not. It's just it's not. I don't
and the more
know the
things I can relate
stuff.
it to, the better I get at it, and the better I get at understanding it, because I can relate it to 4 or 5 different topics, which a lot of people don't think to do that. A lot of people don't take a new philosophy and say, well, how can I apply this now to fashion? How can I apply this now to construction? How can I apply this now to my finances, and recognizing it's all the same? And I can prove it's all the same through something simple in my life, right? 2 different examples. One, I've drained my bank account to zero. That's my bad habit. Always drinking and draining my bank account to zero. How is that representative in my life? Well, my gas tank is on empty and I don't fill it till it's at zero. And I don't, right? And then I don't do my laundry till I'm out of underwear. I don't refill it till it's at empty. And I don't go food shopping till I'm out of food inside my fridge. And you see this idea, it carries over into everything I do. I have a tendency to take on other people's problems and help other people too much. So if I have an abundance of money, I have a tendency to overgive money. How does that show in real life? In other ways? Easy. Go into my room and look inside of my closet or inside my stuff. You're going to see my best friend's stuff, my brother's stuff, my sister's stuff. I'm literally holding on to other people's baggage. Literally. And so that, of course, that's going to relate in my finances.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I got to get this book.
Yeah.
I am so serious. Because you're opening up so much for me, just, in this conversation. Wow. So what are some of the other things that you really felt compelled to write your story and share it with us? What are some of those other things that points that you can make in a short time that we have left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say this, that these aren't things that you learn in school.
Okay.
And the fact is, we know that. So if we all know these aren't things that you learn in school, then you can't blame school not teaching them for you not knowing them. It becomes your responsibility. And so simply, if I want to say I'm going to be healthy, I need to become a student of health. I need to become a disciple of what I affirm. I affirm I want to be prosperous and wealthy, then I must become a student of finances. If I affirm that I want to be healthy, then I must become a student of health. I find it very interesting that everyone in the world knows I want to learn guitar, so they go take guitar classes. I want to learn this, so I go take those classes. But how many people think to myself, I'm struggling in finances, I want to learn finances, and just go learn about finances?
I agree. I think that money management, finance, understanding money should be taught from grade school, from elementary school.
Absolutely.
Because it is so essential to moving through your life. And you're right. That's one area that's neglected in a whole lot of in certain communities, it is very neglected. And I think it's extremely detrimental to us.
What's sad to me is how many people are aware of this and agree with this, and yet it still exists. And that's what I want to solve. And I think that's my thing. I don't mind giving the free information because I want you to be able to go. I want to be able to give this to high school students and single moms and just people who don't know these basic ideas that we should just know. If you can't afford to buy my book, that's fine. Take these principles anyway. I don't care. I just need people to know. I need people to know that the information is there, that it's actually very easy to do. But as Jim Rohn used to say, because becoming wealthy is easy. It's just about consistency. But what is easy to do is just as easy not to do.
Exactly.
The difference between a poor person and a wealthy person is a poor person is willing to do something 100 times. And a rich person is willing to do it 1,000,000 times.
Woo. And we think doing it 100 times is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it follows that principle of in order to be successful, you have to fail. And I never could what? I mean, I would think that would destroy all your self-confidence. But over and over, I've heard that concept.
Yeah.
That you
because we get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Our resilience, right? So the next thing that takes us down is something that we never even imagined. And think about how there are certain goals in your life, right? That there are things in your life now that at one point were a goal that you never thought you'd be able to accomplish. And now you don't even realize that it's a part of your consciousness. You do it all day, every day now. you know?
Exactly.
So now it's the same. We have to take those ideas and we have to be consistent. I have to be willing to do it a million times.
Wow.
I have to be willing to do it a million times. That's the difference. Consistency.
This is great. Great, great, great. So how can we get a hold of your book?
Okay, so you can get my book from right now on the ebook. You can pre-order it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It is also on Kobo, I believe, Apple Books, and what's the last one? Well, you can get it there. You can go to moneymystic.co, which is my website. You can go to my Facebook page, moneymystic359. You can go to my Instagram, moneymystic359. You can find my links in there. And so you can also add your email to my website if you want, so that we can work on when I start getting the physical signed copies out, I can start sending those out to people. Please, guys, make sure to check out my book. Share it with as many people as possible. Check out Gail's stuff. She's amazing. Make sure to share her show with as many people as possible, too.
Right. You know? Now, so the book is coming out really soon. July 16th. Okay. I thought I saw it really soon. And I have been on your website. Everybody go there, moneymystic.co. And then you said on Instagram, moneymystic359. That's also for Facebook. And he's at Amazon. Well, Amazon, the ebook, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kobo.
All the major platforms.
All the major platforms. Okay, that covers it.
Yeah, all the major platforms.
Okay. Well, do you have what do you call it? The schedule for when you're going to do the book tour? That's what I was going to say.
You know, that's coming up. That's something I'm working on. We'll call this as part of this pre-book tour. And I'm getting it all worked out. But you know, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about everything that's happening.
Okay, because well, tell us where you're from.
I'm originally from Jersey. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm 100% Puerto Rican. I was raised in Passaic, New Jersey, Patterson, and Newark, New Jersey. I joined the military when I was 19 years old in the Marine Corps. I got stationed in California, and I've been here ever since with some traveling in between.
Oh, crazy. Well, at least you live in a beautiful place. I love California.
Oh yeah, I'm in heaven here. I'm in Ocean Beach. I'm 2 blocks from the sand. You could literally hear the waves from my window.
I'm sure you spend a whole bunch of time there. I know I would, definitely.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I noticed too on your Facebook page that you talk a lot about being an entrepreneur and how rewarding that is.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. I love being an entrepreneur. I love getting to, set my own hours and work for people and giving service to people. But even more so, what I do now is I teach, right? And so I teach fundamentals of finance. I teach business plans, and I help you make your business plan from beginning to end. And I teach marketing, and I love doing this stuff. I love, opening people's minds onto new ways of looking at things. And I do the same thing. I teach these the same way. I teach principles of marketing that can be applied, whether you're doing social media campaigns, whether you're doing person to person, or whether you're putting a giant gorilla. The principles that I teach you can be applied to everything, which is really cool. And so I love it. I think being an entrepreneur is such a rewarding feeling.
Yeah, I think I agree with you about that. Now, if people want to sign up for what you're teaching, can they do it virtually, or do they have to?
Yes, absolutely. I definitely do virtual teaching, one-on-ones. I'm setting up live workshops locally if you're in the San Diego area. But if not, you can contact me on Facebook and Instagram. You can hire me to teach at your seminar if you have a public speaking event coming up, or if you have a corporate training and need corporate training for customer service, sales, marketing, any of these things. I'm your person. I'll knock it out the park. You'll have a class that you've never experienced in your life before.
All right. Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. I have to go check out what you're offering. And I appreciate your time today. And this has been absolutely eye-opening. I love how you've taken something that seems so complicated and so like cookie cutter and added a whole new flavor to it. So
Thank you. Thank
this
you. I
is
really
nice.
appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate being on the show, Gail. Hopefully I'll get to be on here again sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, anytime.
Cool.
Okay. Well, that will do it for Shy Panther and Friends show this evening. And any final words before I actually close the show,
Yeah,
like
make sure to like, share, subscribe, both of us, me and Gail. Check out our stuff, share it with as many people as possible, and make sure, most importantly, to raise your financial literacy. Money is a lot easier than you think, and you'll wish you did it 10 years ago, no matter how old you are. So get started on that today.
absolutely. I definitely am going to get started. That's for sure. Okay, and I want to close with something, one of your quotes. And you said, for a poor man with applied wisdom is better than a sedentary genius. Matthew Morales. Thank you so much. And I wish you the best of everything. And I will be looking for that book and your speaking engagements because I know you will have them. Definitely.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, and I'll chat with you soon. Can't wait.
All right. Okay, for everybody watching the show, thank you. Make sure that you share and heed to Matt's advice. Get financially literate. It's going to change your whole life and your kids and every all your generations to come. God bless and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.